Everybody, it's time for some weird news, and today we're going to bring you Weird News Bigfoot Edition.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Weird World Podcast, Bigfoot Edition.
You know what? I like the way you said that.
I'm Carrie.
Dean.
Okay, Dean.
Well, I mean, we all love Bigfoot.
Well,
Sasquatch. What do you mean, well?
some of us
You
more
don't
than
love-
the rest of us.
Whatever, man. So, I mean, a few stories. Some of these are about some recent sightings, but they're kind of the biggest recent sightings because if you try to compile, and keep track of sightings of Bigfoot, you'd be doing 15 a day. I mean, they're nonstop. But these are a couple that sort of stood out, and also some of the Bigfoot news and some news about a Bigfoot researcher who has turned his motel into a paradise of Bigfoot mania. So just some teaser Bigfoot stories. If you're interested in Bigfoot like I am, and I know Carrie is secretly, then I think you're going to like this episode. So we'll start with one of those sightings, and this is a little bit emblematic. It's like a lot of sightings of really anything strange and abnormal, where I believe there was some intoxicating substances very, very, very likely involved. But this took place in Louisiana earlier, just a little while ago, this summer, where a group of teens I think they just graduated from high school, not long graduated from high school, so they decided to go on a camping trip. They were from a place called Houma in Louisiana, southern Louisiana. You've heard of Houma?
I used to have a friend who lived in Houma, Louisiana.
Is it sort of near, I don't know where it is, to be honest with you. Is it near New Orleans?
I think so, and I don't think it's too far. But
Okay, it's in the south, so it kind of has to be of the state. They're camping in the Kisatchie National Forest. Oh, it says here that was about 100 miles northwest of Baton Rouge, so I guess they're now more in the kind of northwest of the state.
Is that not near?
I'm sure it's forested. What, pardon?
Is that not near?
No, north of the state. New Orleans is down in the southeastern part of the state.
Oh, okay.
So they're out in the forest. I don't know if it's like swampy. It might be. I don't know. It's not bayou country up there, so it's just think but thick East Texas type of forest type of environment. Totally guessing on that, but I'm probably right.
Okay.
And they are about, I guess they follow a trail called the Backbone Trail, and it's in the southern part of Natchitoches Parish. They don't have counties out there; they have parishes, and they have names like Natchitoches, which is just a phenomenal name. Because there's a French influence, there's a Spanish influence, there's a Native American influence. They have great names in Louisiana, you have to admit. They're about a mile and a half off this Backbone Trail and about 9:20 at night, when one of the members, are like 17, 18 years old. Again, they're kind of recent graduates.
With still unformed brains.
For sure. As we know, all teenagers have unformed brains. In fact, well into their 20s, you have an unformed.
Yeah. Like
unformed may be a strong word.
Yeah. I
Malformed, deformed.
don't know that
Not fully mature.
What is it? The frontal lobe is not
something like that.
Complete.
You're the psychology person. So it's about 9:20 at night, and one of them comes running back to the crowd. Oh my God, I just saw something. Call 911. They supposedly, quote, heard a growl and saw what appeared to be an animal that had glowing eyes and stood about.
Might be another one.
And stood about 5 feet tall, end quote. So I guess that's like an adolescent Bigfoot or a
baby.
Baby, could be a baby. I don't know, a baby. Big feet are supposedly like, think 8 foot tall or so. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with a 13-year-old Bigfoot.
Okay.
He's like curious, like, what are these guys doing, man?
Yeah, probably.
Like they're older kids. He goes to high school too. He wanted to. He wish he could. If he shaved and passed himself as a human, he probably could. So. But they're scared shitless, apparently. They literally called 911. They didn't call like the police. They called 911. They say there's something out there. It's got glowing eyes. We're out in the forest. I guess come help us, because the sheriffs went out there. The deputies responded, and they went out to the scene. So they went out to this, national park, up the trail, a mile and a half off the trail to the site of where they are camping. And they found them. They found that the teenagers were unharmed. Nothing bad happened to them, but they were terrified. And the sheriffs, in the article I read, it said they escorted the kids out of the forest. I was like, you guys, come with us. Come on. Let's all hold hands. Let's walk in 2 lines. The deputies were, quote, unable to locate any suspicious activity involving a growl with glowing eyes and standing 5 feet tall. The last part seems weird. I think they're being a little bit, tongue-in-cheek at this point. By the way, there's been other Bigfoot sightings in Kisatchie National Forest. This article talks about how 2 self-proclaimed Bigfoot researchers, who, by the way, went by the names of Texlaw and Claude.
Oh, God.
It says here to avoid ridicule, which I want to say for the 150th time, what a bunch of bullshit. Anybody who says, oh, we didn't talk about it because we're afraid of being ridiculed is full of shit. The world has turned exactly opposite. People would, oh my God, no way. You saw Bigfoot? Tell me more. No one ridicules anyone. It's the opposite. People who think you're full of shit are the ones who probably like to get picked on. No one. Seriously. If you came, would you really be shy about, I totally saw Bigfoot, but I don't feel like I can tell anybody because I'll be made fun of. That's no one.
Well, me living in this house with you, yes.
No, you wouldn't. I'd be, oh my God, are you kidding me? That's amazing. Let's go back there. Of course I would. These Texlaw and Claude also claim that they saw footprints and signs of Bigfoot, quote, markings, such as, wait for it, twisted tree limbs. Now, if that wasn't caused by Bigfoot, I don't know how a tree limb could be twisted without, if not by a Bigfoot. Texlaw said, it is what it is. If you choose to believe, that's great. If you choose not to believe, that's great too. The problem is, of course, for these people who are, profiting off of this stuff by just, everybody on every single Bigfoot show on cable TV is 100% full of shit. I don't believe any of them really, because they know they've been looking and, finding absolutely nothing whatsoever for decades after decades after decades. And they know, and filming these shows for years after years after year, and no one's finding. It's getting harder and harder to kind of believe in that stuff because everybody said, well, the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. That's just, I would argue that's never been true. That's nonsense. But it's also that really, when we have with satellites and drones and every single person with a camera, no one can get a really good picture of an obvious something that's clearly anomalous. It's getting harder and harder to make the case as the years go on.
Well, and especially in the areas of North America that they've supposedly been sighted.
Every single state in the country has had a Bigfoot sighting.
Yeah.
Every single state, literally. True. I don't know. Hawaii may be the only outlier.
But it's not the most remote areas of
Delaware
the country. So
has had Bigfoot sightings. Yeah. Delaware. There's no place that's remote in Delaware. Rhode Island, those places. So it's getting really difficult. Even if you chalked it up, I still have, I think I've told you this, I have that 1% of me that would love to prove this happen. That
1%?
That believes that there's something out there like this. For the Yeti in Asia, maybe it's 2% because there's a lot more open spaces out there.
I would have given you at least 10%.
It's not 10% because it's just like I say, it's really hard to come with it's like aliens. Like you have these vast amounts of space. There's so many chances for it to be true. There are getting to be fewer and fewer chances for something like Bigfoot to be true with the open spaces shrinking every year and with our ability to penetrate those open spaces expanding. There are vast wilderness places out there, but they're not as vast as they used to be, or a lot of people think they are. Okay, so the next one we have is also gained a lot of attention. It happened actually late last year. And got a fair amount of attention. I meant to bring it up earlier, but I didn't get a chance to. It happened in Colorado, and this is weird because it was in broad daylight. So this couple are on this like romantic getaway, and they're doing a train ride through Colorado. And they're just looking out on the side as they pass the scenery. And it's like, think of like scrubby, not like a forest. It's sort of brownish scrub, like tall grass scrub kind of an environment.
Okay.
And sort of a slope on the side of the train as they hurtle through. They're on in fact, the train is for sightseeing, is for tourism. It's a narrow gauge train between Durango and Silverton. I think that's like kind of southwest, or at least for sure western Colorado. And again, broad daylight, it's like 2 p.m., something like that. Shannon and Stetson Parker. Stetson Parker is such a quintessential Western name.
It is.
It's almost a little too quintessential Western name. But anyway, they're this for their 10th wedding anniversary. And all of a sudden they look outside along the way, and they see, well, you know what? Let me have Shannon tell you what she saw. Quote, and she's 44 years old and from Wyoming. She said, quote, "We were looking for elk in the mountains, and my husband sees something moving and then can't really explain it. So he's like, Bigfoot! Exclamation point." Unquote. Shannon says, quote, "It was at least 6-7 feet or taller." And I'll stop for a second there on her quote. It's impossible. It could be 5 feet to 10 feet. People think they can judge distances, sizes, altitude, things like that. You absolutely cannot. Even with something next to it, if it was standing right next to something you knew was an exact height or something like that, that's one thing. That's almost never happened.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have the picture. I'll show you the picture. We'll put the picture up on our social media. It's just kind of scrubby, tall grass in the area. Yes, it's obviously not 2 feet, but it's obviously not 10 or 12 feet. But for her to say 6 to 7 feet is who knows. Quote, "It matched the sage in the mountains so much that he's like camouflage when crouching down. If you asked before our trip, we would have said maybe Bigfoot could be real, but now we're convinced." End quote. Here's the picture. I'm showing Carrie another picture. Again, we'll put this up on our social media. It is pretty well camouflaged, isn't it? Describe that. Describe it better.
It's brown, grassy bushes, and in the middle, honestly, it looks like rocks or something to me.
It does. If you look at it closer, it does look very much like a Bigfoot, kind of with the conical head shape, where it's sort of a pointed head, which some people have often described Bigfoot as having a kind of a conical head shape.
But to me, it looks small. It doesn't look big.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
It could be 6 feet. It could be 4 feet. It could be. You just don't know. There are better pictures than that. We'll show you. And actually took video. Shannon shared this video, and it's about 1.5, 2 minutes, something like that. We'll try to find the video and at least put a link to it. But so they're amazed. They tell people that they talk to the conductor, and the train's conductor says that, oh yeah, there's been some sightings here in the past of things that we thought were Bigfoot. So the conductor said, quote, or Shannon said, the conductor said that he went out snowshoeing in these mountains before and had seen footprints that were larger and of a much bigger stride than snowshoes would have been, unquote. That was one of the two Parkers. I'm not sure which one. Probably still Shannon. I think she does most of the talking.
Yeah.
He has seen unexplainable things as well. Is the rest of her quote. Okay. I guess so. We'll have to take your word for it. So a lot of people were commenting on this, and it's like, hey, were y'all drinking? And things like that. And Shannon said that some were skeptical that it could have been maybe a person. For example, a hunter wearing natural camouflage. I guess you will wear something because it does blend in with those surroundings. It's the Southwest Colorado. It's fairly dry there.
Yeah.
So they're called, ghillies. And so hunters will sometimes wear that kind of thing. The problem was this was not rifle hunting season, but you could go bow hunting. And this creature didn't appear to have a bow. So some people thinking, that probably wouldn't be a bow hunter unless he's just scouting or something like that and kicking back right by the train, by the way. Here's the thing, though. First thing I thought was that, okay, they're on a train that always passes by the same exact place full of tourists. Interesting. It's very predictable. It's very predictable when people are going to pass by. Shannon said it didn't look like a hunter because a hunter would have had a weapon, like she said. It didn't seem to be carrying anything. And so this article ends in this matter. I'm going to go to a second article in just a second, but this article ends with this. Those who claim to have seen Bigfoot have described everything from a large upright ape to an actual hairy human, sometimes standing over 8 feet tall and described as powerfully built. And they quote the Washington National Guard. And I'm thinking, why are they quoting the Washington National Guard? So I looked that up and I found it, and it's just a super generic statement about people in Washington, by the way, have claimed to have seen this thing that is called the Bigfoot or the Sasquatch, and that's a quote from it.
Oh, okay.
So why should I name the media source, because it's a little sleazy. It's the New York Post.
Oh, of course.
So why do you do that though? You quote a thing from a. It sounds official. It's
Yeah.
government, it's military. It's from a state that you're not talking about this article
Right.
for, but you found some statement from the Washington National Guard that said, and they portray it in a way that makes it sound like it's almost talking about this, which it absolutely is not. It's talking about
Yeah.
very generically. So kind of a sleight of hand and a pretty dishonest one by the New York Post. But you wouldn't know that if you didn't do the research or read from the Washington National Guard. Found another article. And a different source is from Outside Online, which is a magazine, a pretty good magazine. They've become a little clickbaity because they have to survive, they have to pay the bills, but it's a pretty good magazine with some pretty good writers.
Never heard of it.
It's anything outdoors, like mountain biking, hiking, exploring, things like that. Yes, but it's kind of a quasi magazine, but not really.
Yeah.
Ultra marathoners out in the things like that. So this article talked about how this video really spread. It was on like The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. It was on some other, shows like that. TMZ covered it and had Bigfoot is real as their headline. But it said that, or this is just another silly hoax. You decide, it said. So basically, when you poked a hole, when you looked into it, you found what probably really happened. It turns out this area, southwestern Colorado, has a long history of Bigfoot hoaxers. And this area immediately here has a very specific history of Bigfoot hoaxing. This area, I guess there's a famous spoof film done by some skiers in the area that is well known. There was also another group that hoaxed a Bigfoot sighting because they wanted to shoot down a housing development and they wanted to stop them from getting permits, I guess. No, you can't build there. This is Bigfoot country.
habitat.
Yeah. So people who are from the area and from Durango in that area were started to riot in and say, no, we have people, we know about them who actually literally have Bigfoot costumes and they walk around in them for publicity. The current county sheriff used to do that before he became sheriff. He would walk around in a Bigfoot costume. And there's one person in particular, a journalist at the Durango Herald, a newspaper, had someone walk into their office and said they're a video filmmaker. And they were asking about recent Sasquatch sightings and did they know about anybody? And then when they asked for the name, this filmmaker wouldn't divulge their name. Durango Herald person became a little suspicious. But it turns out, so is it that video maker who did this? Turns out there's another person too. There's a guy who owns something called Sasquatch Expedition Campers. And he makes camping trailers kind of thing. He sells campers. I guess his name is Kes Kramer. And he for sure owns a Bigfoot suit. And he very often uses it for sales events and publicity. He'll walk around with his Bigfoot suit. Come and see the Bigfoot in my campers.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And I guess people started asking, was that you? And he started posting very cryptic things on his website saying, never know, why don't you come here and get a T-shirt or something like that. And he started selling T-shirts with, the Bigfoot on it. So I don't know if this is consensus, but most people think it's at least one, probably that guy who's just, he drums up publicity for his business that has a tie-in to Bigfoot. And he was just, so all you have to do, like I said, that this train passes by that point all the time, and you just go there, hang out. Someone's going to see you, someone's going to freak out. Shannon and Stetson freaked out, made video, got a ton of publicity for this guy. He probably sold a few campers off.
I think he'd make it a little bit more obvious. Stand way up tall.
Yeah, I know.
Wave.
I know. With a sign saying Ken's Campers, whatever that was called. He didn't want to make it too obvious, I guess. We move on to some pretty dramatic drone footage of a Bigfoot. Some pretty, I've seen it. We'll do a link to it it's on YouTube. This also was last year in 2023. And there's been quite a few, but this actually made quite a buzz on TikTok because a pretty significant user, I guess she has a big following. Her name is the Paranormal Chick, and she's
a significant user. Is that the technical term?
It is. That's a TikTok TikTok term that kids use these days.
Somebody who has lots of followers on TikTok.
That's what they're called now. I'm not using. That's what the kids use. It's like LOL, which is also a brand new current hot term that the kids are using. So her name is the Paranormal Chick, and she spells chick CHIC. I don't know if I should say it paranormal chic if she just can't spell chick. My suspicion is she's typing her username into TikTok. She forgot the K. She hit return. She says, "Oh shit!" And she's just living with it.
I don't know. Is she real well dressed and?
No,
trendy
she's
and
not.
cute?
No,
Because
not
that
really.
would be paranormal chic.
She doesn't look that chic. I'm pretty sure I'm 98% sure she meant to type paranormal chick.
Okay.
She's going, what can you do now? So she passed along this drone video from a different person. They had put it up quite a while before. I think a few months, like in the summer of 23. She put it up sometime in the fall or even early winter of 23. And her caption for it was, "Bigfoot is real." And she talked about it during this, as she shows it, she's talking about it. She says, "I firmly believe it's one of the best recordings of what looks to be a Bigfoot caught on camera." And her followers are writing in, "This is amazing. This is so incredible." She explained what it was. It was this guy in Vermont. His name was, I'm sorry, it was a YouTuber that went by the name of Ken's Carpentry. And the carpentry is spelled with a K, so that's super clever. I'm glad there wasn't another K involved.
Yeah.
That would be very suspicious.
Ken's
but,
Country Carpentry.
Oh, if you all with Ks, that would be highly, highly, highly suspicious. But it wasn't, thank God. And he said on his video, when he posted it said he saw this creature, quote, he said he was out taking drone footage. Why are you taking drone footage of the forest below you? So he said, "I was looking for a mama bear in her cubs," which I think he meant with her cubs, when he encountered this unidentified creature. It was I think he was actually filmed it in June. He posted it in July, something like that, again of last year. So it's a little bit dated. The video shows, we'll post or we'll provide a link for it. The video shows this camera just kind of gliding over this kind of snowy. If it really was taken, I'm a little suspicious when it was taken because there's snow on the ground everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's in the summer in Vermont.
Oh.
I'm a little suspicious that it must have been earlier in the year, even before
Maybe.
spring, I'm guessing. I don't know.
There might be some places where there's snow in June, though.
Vermont? Maybe. I doubt it.
Vermont. It's
I guess.
pretty high up there.
It's probably up there, but it's not that high up there in terms of altitude.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. They do have mountains. So anyway, he's like, but you have to hear, it's like, "What in the world? What is that?" When he sees this creature. So it's just this top-down drone footage. You see this very Bigfoot-like creature. Some people think, "Oh, it can't be a bear." It's clearly walking on 2 feet the entire time. No question whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he's not saying, but the quotes when they write it out in this article, it says, "What in the world?" I've listened to it. I've seen the video. He says, "What in world?" every single time. He refuses to say the article. He says, "What in world? What in world is that?" Just, Ken, it's what in the world, bro. So he says, "That's incredible." And it shows this furry, kind of very dark hair. And he's like, "No way. Are you serious?" And so people start responding to his video and then later to Paranormal Chic's video. And it's like, "Wow, that's amazing. Preach. He is real. I get us flack for believing." One person wrote, "Again, I'm going to call you out, bro. No, you don't. Not in this world." But then other people started noticing.
Maybe he comes from a family of scientists.
Maybe, I suppose. Another person said, "How come you hear the footsteps in the snow? Hoax?" And I thought about that. You audibly hear very loud footsteps. I don't know how high the tree are. How tall the trees are. They've got to be. They're very barren trees, because it's cold and there's no leaves on them. And another reason I don't think it was summer. And they 30 feet, 40 feet, and the drone's above that. So the drone's at least 50 feet in the air, probably more than that. And you hear these Foley-like crunching footprints in the snow, footsteps in the snow.
That is weird, though.
Very loud. I don't think you hear it at all. You hear the zzz of the drone the entire time.
Huh.
You hear, if you hear the footsteps that loud, you would hear breathing that loud. You would hear other things that loud. It's just like zzz and crunched footsteps that sound like they're 6 inches away from the microphone.
Because why would you fake that?
We'll see. So, and then other people started asking, quote, "Why not follow for longer to see where it was headed?" Because it just seems to lose it and then it ends. It's only about a minute and a half. It's not a very long video footage. "Why not go back on foot to see the traces? Why not take the drone down for a closer look?" So many questions. End quote.
True.
All of those are very valid questions.
Yeah.
There's no reason. Again, there are lots of bear patches. Just walking through a little 3 or 4 trees and then a bear space. 3 or 4 trees, then a bear space. You could have easily taken that drone been very, very, very near ground level to where that creature was. No question whatsoever. So those are all questions, and I guess Ken of Ken's Carpentry has kind of made it. He's kind of admitted it because somebody wrote and he about is this a hoax? And he wrote back to one of the viewers and he responded. He says, "That's a Ken Squatch, a very rare breed." Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. The user said, "Hey, I think that's a Ken Squatch, a very rare breed." I think this user knew Ken.
Yeah.
So I took it, I read it, and he replied, "Indeed." Ken did. And then another said, "Ken, for years and years, I've been a harsh critic of those who believed in Sasquatch, cascading and criticizing any who believed in such foolishness. But clearly your evidence is both irrefutable and unquestionable." And he wrote back, "Ha ha, thanks for watching." So he's more or less admitted that was him in a suit.
Yeah, you wouldn't say ha ha
no.
if you really thought you got
and
footage
all he did is kind of throw it on YouTube and let it go. If it hadn't been found by Paranormal Chic Chick, months later, no one would have even seen it. A few people who he knew who followed his carpentry, social media would have even seen it. So I think he's kind of owning up to it. One thing, but one thing it may have led to, or at least, I don't know, I see a connection, is later, not long after this, after he posted his video, not long after this, I think later that summer after the video was posted, so it may have been before Paranormal Cheek, but I'm thinking, people did get some exposure to it. The Taos County Sheriff released a statement about Bigfoot and almost like a warning about Bigfoot. And it's very strange because it says, there's the species is coming down from the high country to the Kern River, which is not a river in New Mexico. It's not a river in New Mexico. You know where it is. It's in Central California. It's near Bakersfield.
They say that in their press release?
That's how I read it. They said that on their press release. And back to the release, to hunt for fish and vegetation. If you happen to see one, here's what you should do. And they have a little thing that says do's and don'ts. Do's, go about your business. Take photos documenting the event. Don'ts, do not run toward or away from Bigfoot. Do not yell. Do not try to feed Bigfoot. That's it. The Taos County Sheriff, I guess, I mean, people think they're having some fun.
Sure.
And I guess the social media postings from the Sheriff's Department has done these things in the past. When this is near 4th of July, I guess. This was in early July when the people questioned, like, what do you mean by that? All they wrote back was, have a happy and safe and fun holiday weekend. So
why would they put the Kern River in there? That's just weird.
It's very weird. They're coming into the Kern River, which we don't have one of those. That's not here in New Mexico. I don't know. Someone was just having a lot of fun. Or was smoking. Yeah. Drunk at the sheriff's office, and let's have some fun. But there was another sighting that also raised some eyebrows, because this sighting was on a military base in Norfolk, Virginia. This sighting of the mysterious Bigfoot. This is actually a press release from the base, from a military staff member at the base. Released this sighting. Said the mysterious cryptid Bigfoot has been sighted by sailors and civilians on the Turtle Park Trail on board Naval Station Norfolk since 2006. I don't know what on board Naval Station means. It's on land.
Yeah.
It's on the coast. Norfolk is on the coast, but it has a chunk of land attached to it.
Yeah.
And it talked about the 8 or 9 foot beast covered in dark brown hair, and it has glowing eyes. And this press release talked about how, is this bipedal, 6 to 10 feet? It's very much, here's all about Bigfoot. And although weirdly gets some things wrong, it says Bigfoot is reported as 6 to 10 feet. It's almost never reported as 10 feet. They report that it has shaggy fur. Shaggy? And that doesn't feel very Bigfoot to me at all. They said, here's my favorite quote, sightings of the elusive beast in North America stretch back post-Ice Age period to modern day. What do you mean? We have reports from cave people? I'm confused. From the first Native Americans to come over the land bridge? Yeah. That's I don't know what that means exactly, but it's weird. And they also say that the Bigfoot is known for their aggressive nature and cleverness. That's absolutely not true.
Opposite, yeah.
So this person didn't do it. In my opinion, you're doing Bigfoot wrong. I'm not happy with you. But still, so they're saying, there's flat out, people are seeing this Bigfoot all the time, and they've been seeing it since 2006. Yeah. They say there's a Bigfoot on base. I'm sorry. So then they end their press release by saying, while there is a Bigfoot on base, the one here is immobile and made of wood, foam, and chicken wire. It's a goddamn statue. So they don't tell you until the end of the article that it's a statue.
So they're just being funny.
Are they? They're being annoying is what they're being.
Yeah.
The only reason I brought up this article is because it pissed me off. I was looking for articles about Bigfoot sightings, and this really plays as and comes over your search on Bigfoot sightings. And it's just some dickhead at a naval air station in Norfolk, which, by the way, you have to live in Norfolk. So, I guess you have to do something. Just kidding, Norfolk. I'm joking. Norfolk, I'm sure, is a very fine place.
Yeah.
And and then it goes on about how this former officer, it was his idea, and he did it with a friend, and they're both saying great things about each other. No, it was all you. No, you did it. You're awesome. Okay. So it's just sort of annoying. I guess they're talking about how the original one was made from wood, but termites ate it, so they had to remake it from home. It's like, okay, let's bring up our dirty laundry. And then my favorite part of this article, though, is at the very end of the article, it says, for more news from Naval Station Norfolk, visit http blah, 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 blah. Hey, bro, no one is reading this article because they want to know about Norfolk Naval Station.
Probably
it's about Bigfoot, dude. Like, you can learn about the latest dance at the station, or the mixer. What a dick. So my last story is actually it's second to last story. This one is going to be a little bit of a downer. I'm going to say that right up front. I don't know if it's a trigger warning or not. Maybe. That's not how you do trigger warnings, is it?
No, it's
I'm not good at that. So this it took place in Oklahoma. It was earlier this year, spring of this year, when these two fishermen went out, longtime friends, went out with a lot of beer to fish in a river. And they got to talking, they got kind of drunk, and they got to arguing. And one of them was their 55-year-old Larry Sanders and his friend, 52-year-old Jimmy Knighton. I guess the friend, Jimmy Knighton, had claimed that he had seen a Bigfoot. He said it was a 12-foot tall Sasquatch tromping around downstream. So he goes downstream, and Jimmy comes back and tells his friend Larry, oh, my God, I just saw a 12-foot Bigfoot downstream, right down there. Larry gets afraid, and then he gets weird about it because he gets increasingly angry at Jimmy, and they got into some kind of argument. It's not clear because sadly, only Larry can tell this part of the story. And all of a sudden, as they're arguing, Knighton, the one who said he saw the Bigfoot, started shouting. Larry took that to mean that he was summoning the Bigfoot to come and eat him, Larry. So he thinks his friend's shouts are, hey, Bigfoot,
come eat
Larry. Larry then attacks Jimmy and strangles him. Larry strangles Jimmy to death. He killed him right there on the side of the river because his friend Jimmy was trying to get Bigfoot to eat him.
Or that's what Larry says.
That's what Larry says.
And he couldn't come up with a better self-defense reason why he would have killed his friend.
That was the best he or his lawyer could do.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went to court and he made that argument in court. And he said that he thought Knighton was going to drown him and float his body downstream to feed the Bigfoot. So he kind of, nuanced it a little bit, I guess.
Did Jimmy spell out his plan
with weird guttural yells or something like that? Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, it takes, as you know, it takes a long time to strangle someone. There's no such thing as an accidental strangling. I how we've talked about this before in other contexts, but in like premeditated murder, if you strangle someone, that's first degree murder. End of discussion. It takes 5 minutes to strangle someone and kill them. It's not just a sudden kind of a thing.
Yes.
It's a deliberate process.
Yeah.
So, and he did it by chokehold, by the way, and he kept him in chokehold even after he stopped breathing. So Sanders said that after he finished strangling his friend, he raised his hands in the air like a victory. And he did that to signal to the Bigfoot, I won, not your guy. You can't eat me. So he said this in court, or he said this to officials or to police.
Yeah.
So he's not well, obviously.
No. Is he in prison?
He's in prison, yeah. So he lost he was guilty of first-degree murder. And
when did this happen?
The murder happened in 2022. The trial was this year.
I feel like I've heard this before.
Did you? I don't. The sentencing. It says here the sentencing was set for June 18th, which was just a short while ago.
Huh.
So I don't have an article after that says what he was sentenced to, but he faces life in prison without possibility of parole, which is what he should get.
Yeah.
So that's a downer. So I'll give you one more story. It's about our friend in the motel in Kentucky. Naturally, Kentucky. Love you, Kentucky. Trying to make amends. Beautiful state. Big fan. Big fan. In Clay City, Kentucky, there's a guy who owns the Clay City Inn. His name is Charlie Raymond. And he basically has turned this into an homage to Bigfoot. He says the people who come to his motel, they see the Bigfoot decor and say, "What's the story behind that?" And I say, "There's been a lot of sightings out here in the gorge," says Charlie Raymond. So he is not just a proprietor of a Bigfoot, motel.
Yeah.
He's been studying and going on expeditions to see Bigfoot for years and years and years. But he has like Bigfoot statues in the lobby. He has Bigfoot cutouts all around the outside of the motel. He has figurines in the office. Almost all the guest rooms have some kind of a picture of Bigfoot,
Yeah.
which I think is awesome.
I would go stay at a
Oh my
motel
God,
like
yes.
that.
And he hopes to open a museum on that property on someday. He runs a thing that he founded called the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Center, the KBRO. And he says, quote, "Well, I moved to Kentucky about 30 years ago, and I knew there had to be Bigfoots in Kentucky," which I don't know how to interpret that, but he might think he's a Bigfoot magnet. Like because he moved there,
They came.
they came. I'm not clear if that's what he meant by that or not. He says he's investigated more than 500 sightings that he believes are credible. Keep that number in mind for a second. Quote, "If I have any doubt, I throw it out. There are too many hoaxes," end quote. Okay, so just do some math. That means that he's seen 530 years that he believes are credible, but the majority of his sightings are hoaxes, so he's thrown them out. That's in 30 years. How does he have time to run his motel and make cutouts of Bigfoot? That would mean there'd have to be, let's say he throws out 1 in 5. That means he's gone on 2,500 Bigfoot expeditions. Let's say 1 in 6, because I want to make it 3,000 now for the math.
I thought it was just that he had heard about them.
I don't know. No, it says unless it's written poorly. The sentence before says he's investigated more than 500 sightings that he believes are credible. And the next sentence says, quote, "If I have any doubt, I throw it out. There are too many hoaxes." That's how I read it.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I don't know. So I mean, if 1 in 6 are a hoax, that means he's done 3,030 years. That's 1,000 a year. That's almost 3 a day. So that's not.
I think it's just that he's
Possible.
heard about it. Like
Maybe.
if somebody says it to him and he thinks, "Oh, that's ridiculous."
Okay.
He throws it out. He
But
doesn't
he's personally seen
investigate
500 in 30 years.
He investigated it.
Yes. No. He has investigated more than 500 sightings that he believes are credible. So you think that means just reading about it?
Yeah. Somebody else
Okay.
had
That's
the
not how I read
sighting
it.
and he went out to investigate it.
Okay. Well, okay.
That's
still
how
a lot,
that's
Carrie.
what
That's
it sounds
still-
like to me.
Okay.
Well, of course it's a lot.
Right there in the area of his hotel, presumably,
Yeah,
of Kentucky,
yes.
in Clay City, Kentucky. That's a ton.
Yeah.
So what would that be? What if 500 divided by 30 is 60? Wait.
Yeah.
No.
I think, yeah.
Is it something like that?
Yeah.
So that's 60 a year. A year for
Yeah.
30 years solid and still going. That's a lot of credible sightings,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
That would be more than one a week.
Yeah, that's a lot. Charlie Raymond.
Yeah.
And so he takes groups out. He takes groups out that are from 2 people to 20 people, and he has been featured on Animal Planet, the History Channel, and BBC. He does little talks in his hotel, and he says audience members often wonder if people are seeing bears instead of Bigfoots. His response is, "Bears have snouts and ears. These creatures are always described as having flat faces." There's actually a lot more naturalists are thinking most honest sightings are bears.
Yeah.
And people ask him, like, why hasn't anyone found any Bigfoot bones? And he says that he believes that Bigfoot buried their dead and that the bones disintegrate quickly because their bones, unlike all other bones.
Yeah.
People who stay in his inn, though, often want to go on a Bigfoot hunt, and he accommodates and he arranges for these group outings to go. He says he believes, quote, "We believe Bigfoots communicate with tree knocks." So he'll go out and take people and he'll knock against a tree with like a baseball bat or something like that. He'll knock really loud against a tree, and he and the group will wait for a response. When this reporter did that, they didn't get any response. So Charlie said, imagine if something knocked right back right now. You would freak out, wouldn't you? Yeah, I would. Or maybe I wouldn't, because it could be anything.
Yes.
He says that he has heard responses many times. So he's done these knockings and he hears knocks back. And he says, quote, "No animal has hands that can pick up a stick and strike a tree that hard," end quote. Gosh, let me think. Is there one animal that does have hands, in fact, opposable thumbs, and can strike a tree when they hear a tree being struck? What animal would that possibly be? I think I know. It's hairless. It's not 8 feet tall, but it might be 6 feet tall and wearing a camo jacket. He says he has never seen a Bigfoot, which I respect that kind of honesty. I like that. But he said he has heard these very haunting howls, and he says he's been close enough to have a Bigfoot to throw rocks at him. And again, my first thought is, Charlie, is there something else that may have thrown a rock at you? Is there something else that may have hit that tree in response to your hitting a tree? Can you just imagine for a minute what that other thing might be besides a Bigfoot?
No, Charlie cannot.
No, I don't think he can, but I still like him. Quote, "I just wish people would be more open-minded about it," he said. And my response is ditto. He says, "It's exciting. Even if you don't find anything, it's a thrill just to get out in the woods at night." And you know what?
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I would actually love to go Bigfoot hunting.
Yes.
It's fun. Like, I all those TV shows about Bigfoot hunters, if they're just honest about it and just said, yeah, there's no Bigfoot out here, but let's have fun and let's have interesting banter and turn it into a reality show or something like that. But I'm sure they've all made up evidence. They've all seen a smear in the mud and said that clearly it was a Bigfoot crawling around and things like that. They're just being dishonest. Or they have sounds and things like that that are not. I don't know. So here's a hair, and then they say, and we sent it for chemical analysis, and don't ever come back, and it's a bear or whatever, a goat. But actually going out, having fun in the forest and checking for Bigfoot,
it would be fun.
So that's our Weird News Bigfoot. I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, well, it was all bullshit, and I was hoping for something more real. Well, that's the best I could do. Those are the best Bigfoot sightings we have from the last year or so. I mean, Larry, the one thing about that, Larry's the murderer. Charlie is right about is that, yes, the vast majority of hoaxes. He just happens to think a lot of them are not. I mean, pretty, and I don't think they're all hoaxes, but there's obviously mistaken identity. But I think Charlie said, or someone said it, is that you're going to have to find a body. Eventually, you're going to have to find a body. And so that's the only way anybody's going to have any proof.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. And so, I would never kill a Bigfoot, but if we found a body, that would be earth-shattering. That would be so great. That'd be groundbreaking. Oh yeah, I know. I don't believe in Bigfoot. I think the vast majority of what you see in the media is not just mistaken anything like that. I think it's purposeful fraud. Again, what you see in the media, what you see on the TV shows and things like that. I don't think they're innocent people who are just a little bit foolish. I think they're 100% fraudsters. But I would love, no one's going to outdo me in wanting there to be Bigfoot.
I wonder if there's going to come a day when people are like, yeah, way back in the day, people used to believe there was this big creature with, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, probably. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah. At what point is there just not enough nature left?
Yeah.
Where it's rational?
Or just like people have finally gotten the idea that somebody would have actually found one.
Yeah,
right now.
Our technology really is catching up to
Yes.
those anything decent sized being unknowable. Here's I'm gonna say something right now that I don't know. Check on this in 10 or 20 years. But I think or maybe 50 years, I don't know. I think when there's just our technology is so advanced and there are no places where something big can exist that we don't know about, the search will turn to the deep oceans.
Yeah.
Because the deep oceans are very big. You already start to hear things like, well, we've only explored 1% of the oceans or some stuff like that. And there are places that it's absolutely incredibly difficult to explore deep parts of the oceans. So I think you'll see the search for these, because we're humans and we'd love to think there's something out there that we don't understand. I've been like that my entire life.
Yeah.
But I'm unfortunately also rational. And so that butts up against this thirst for there being unknown things out there, because I'm unfortunately rational about assessing it. I need proof. I need that to be shown and proven to me. I'm not going to take it on faith. That's foolish. So I think we'll turn, as the people looking for unknown things will turn to the oceans. Check on that in 30 years.
Well, sea serpents.
Yeah, I
Stuff
know,
like that.
but it'll all, the focus will be on the oceans at some point, because there just won't be enough unexplored land to make it realistic. Unfortunately, which is sad.
Yeah.
Or to space. That's why we need to travel to other worlds to explore new places. That would be great, just for that reason alone. Just to find, there might be an alien Bigfoot out there. Some planet.
There probably is.
Damn it.
That's just not my vibe.
No, sorry. But what do you mean?
Exploring and worrying about unknown stuff.
Well, good thing you do. A podcast called World. That's great.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I feel like we do different podcasts. Okay. Well, thank you for listening to Weird News.
Bigfoot edition.
I hope you liked it. You probably didn't. I totally understand. I wish there was better news to bring you about this. I wish there was news of something just that really, really, but I could not find anything that sounded even remotely convincing. I'm sorry.
Someday.
Yep. I hope. Okay.
Bye.
See you.